Dan Illman, Matt Birney are taking a look at Grade 1 stakes action on the Kentucky Derby undercard. Race number 6 for fillies and mares, going 7 furlongs. It's the Humana Distaff. Let's take a peek at this field. Bob Baffert, well represented. He's got the morning line favorite, and he's got the one to beat in the 7, Marley's Freedom, who was the odds-on favorite in last year's Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint, drew a tough post position, maybe didn't get the right trip, and was only beaten a half length. In her 2 subsequent starts here in graded stakes victories, and last time out in the Beholder Mile, they tried to stretch her out for the first time around 2 turns, and she ran okay. She finished ahead of Paradise Woods, who came back to just destroy a nondescript field in the Santa Margarita with a 100 buyer. She's turning back to the distance that she wants, and again, she's the horse to beat.
Yeah, and just to kind of put it all in perspective, that Beholder Mile, I'm sure some people were disappointed that she was unable to beat Secret Spice, but she still earned the highest last out buyer in the field and the highest last out raw time form rating in the field. So this is arguably class relief, depending on how you want to look at it, and she's back doing what she wants. I think she is strictly the horse to beat. I'm
curious to see what time form has to say with its pace projector, because there are 2 speed horses in the race, but I don't think there is any as fast as the 5, Amy's Challenge, who tried to go 7 last time out in the Grade 1 Madison, made the lead, was pressed by Spice Perfection, who's also in this field, and was very game, but just finished 2nd, and she still has to answer that question. Can she go 7 furlongs? Because I would have thought that over that racetrack, that speed-friendly racetrack at Keeneland, if she couldn't do it there, how is she going to do it here unless she gets an easy lead?
That's the way that I looked at it. I mean, that race, it really felt like the Madison was hers for the taking. And then all of a sudden, down the lane, those 2 fillies threw it down, where one poked ahead in front of the other and the other one came back on her. I feel like if you didn't get it done there, I have a difficult time imagining you get it done here, especially at the 4-to-1 morning line. If she's anywhere near that, to me, she's just an underlay. I think she's a big part of the pace situation, though.
Spice Perfection's really versatile, and she's also very underrated. She won the Grade 1 La Brea, going 7 furlongs opening day of the Santa Anita Winter Meet. I thought she ran a fine 2nd in the Barbara Fritchie. The horse you liked that day, Late Night Powwow, a wind machine, shot through on the inside. Spice Perfection had to angle to the outside, and maybe that was the difference. It was only ahead at the wire. Last time out in the Madison, Javier realized, listen, there's not a lot of speed. I'm not sure Amy's Challenge wants to go 7. Let's use this horse's speed. And she stayed close, and she was able to get it done. We know she likes the 7. Timeform US believes this time she'll be a little further back.
And if that's the case, maybe that's a little bit of an unknown here, but at the same time, she's shown in Southern California in the past that she can set 2 or 3 lengths off of it, still be as effective as she is up there prompting the pace. There's also a part of me that wonders if this pace ends up heating up slightly more than maybe the pace projector suggests, because I'm not suggesting that there's horses that are absolute need-to-lead types, but I think many of these girls do their best when they're out there outright on it, and I do wonder if that sort of adds to a potentially faster than anticipated pace.
Another underrated horse, sort of lost in the shadow of Mona Moy Girl last year, was Mischief. I mean, she won on Kentucky Derby weekend, taking the 8 bells at 7 furlongs in gate-to-wire fashion. I thought she ran great in both the Test and Prioress, 2 prestigious Grade 1 races at Saratoga, and Steve Asmussen, I think, is slowly cranking her back up, making the 3rd start of the form cycle. Last time out, she was beaten, but it was over a sloppy track at Oaklawn Park. I think she can be a little bit more forward if she needs to be. I think she'll be sitting 2nd or 3rd. I agree with Timeform.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think she's going to be one of those horses up there pushing the pace, given where she's breaking with Talk Fouf to me on the outside, with Spice Perfection to the inside. The interesting thing is, to me, I feel like the 8 bells is the best race she's run throughout her career, even including that Prioress where she was no match for Dream Tree. But if she gets back to that 8 bells, she has a puncher's chance in here at a nice price.
Spring in the Wind has won 3 consecutive races, a lightly raced 5-year-old getting a class and surface test. This will be the first stakes race she's run in, let alone a Grade 1, and this is the first time she's raced on dirt. She's also coming off about a 5-month layoff, and her buyers are light. It's a big ask for this mare who's been very consistent throughout her career.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely an ask here in tall order, just simply because we don't know about the surface. We don't know if she stacks up from a class standpoint, and from a trip standpoint, she's been relatively close in those runs on synthetic. But I have to imagine she's going to be outfooted early on. I think she's going to be coming from the back.
Let's look at our top selections for the Grade 1 Humana Distaff, and I want you to talk about Emboldened. I know you've been waiting for Emboldened. You are bringing the other Baffert angle from Southern California to Churchill Downs on Derby Day. Tell the folks why they should run to the windows.
Oh, well, I got to be. I don't know if she should be running. I'll be at least running. It's a situation where I've always liked her. I thought when she debuted, she was a potential Oaks horse going forward. Then she ran kind of mediocre in that second Lifetime start, and she was gone for a little while. The La Brea, I thought, was a good enough effort off of a long layoff 2 starts back. And then she came back in the Las Flores. And when you go through, Danuska's My Girl was the one that set the fractions that day, and she just kept going. Nobody else really kept her that honest up front. But you look and see the only horse that made up any legitimate ground was Emboldened, and we've talked about it so many times in those races out in Southern California, specifically at Santa Anita. I don't think that's a running style that works in these one-turn races. I think you need to be close to be successful out there. You get a horse like this away from Southern California, and for my money, get her back to 7/8. I just love everything about it. I think she can be a little bit closer if need be. 8-1, I would sign up for that immediately.
Another angle you like, lightly raced horse, paired up by her tops, might be ready for a big explosion. And I thought in the La Brea she just moved a little too early. Very aggressively handled on the backstretch, and I think that might have sapped her stretch kick. Very nice pick with Emboldened at a nice price, 8-1 on the morning line. Talk Veuve to me, I think showed some class last year. Second in the 8 Bells in her first start against winners, second in the Acorn. Only 2 lengths behind Monomoy Girl. Obviously, this one has had some talent. They brought her off a long layoff last time out. Didn't that look like a paid workout? I mean, nobody wanted to go to the lead with her, and Talk Veuve to me just sort of galloped around there. I know it was a soft trip, but I like that Julien Leparoux got after her in the stretch. I think she got enough out of it. And now second off the layoff, tracking a horse like Amy's Challenge who may not want the 7. I think it might fit well for Talk Veuve to me. 4-1 in the morning line I think is fair.
I think the most dangerous thing about a horse like this is she is not dependent on the lead, but she has that speed to be forwardly placed. And look, I thought she ran a bang-up race in the 8 Bells last year. I didn't like it. Even when she was successful in the Indiana Oaks, I wanted her more at those one-turn races, the 7/8 types. I thought she was a filly and mare sprint candidate. All of a sudden, she was gone after the spinster and a dull effort there. She came back. You're right. That N3X, it looked like basically a paid workout. I think she's ready to go in a spot like this. And again, the distance, she's one of the horses in here that wants it. One of, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 out of the field is 7. The other girls, maybe they want a little bit shorter. I think Talk Veuve to me is a live player.
You're betting Emboldened, but give the folks numbers.
6-7-4-2.
4-2-5-7 for me in the Grade 1 Humana Distaff on Kentucky Derby Saturday at Churchill Downs. It has an approximate post time of 1:13 Eastern. Best of luck.